Chill Computer Guy. Today we're in Bitwig 2.2.3. Oh my gosh, it's snowing out, and so to celebrate, I went ahead and opened the curtains and we got some light coming in. I don't know if you can see that, but we're in the basement. That's why this is the Deep Studio. And I've called this the Deep Studio because I'm in the basement. I'm underground. And it's snowing like hell. It's very cold out, but I got the heat on, and so we have another half hour of light or so. Yesterday was the shortest day of the year, and today we're actually getting a few seconds more of light than we did yesterday, so pretty exciting. So I went ahead and opened up the windows, so I don't know if you can see the light coming in there, but light is exciting, and the snow is also exciting, but I gotta drive to work here in about an hour and a half, so hopefully the snow will cut down because I got a 40-minute drive to work, and I'm not a big fan of driving in the snow. Today the subject's going to be the browser, specifically the pop-up browser. Now we all know about the side browser here, and we'll have videos on that coming up, but the pop-up browser is kind of it's dynamic. Now a lot of people might not understand that it's dynamic, but it is dynamic, and you can kind of mess with the default state of the browser and make it so it's less overwhelming. By overwhelming, I mean that if you click pretty much anywhere on the user interface, if you click the plus sign, the pop-up browser is going to come up. Let's go ahead and hit this plus sign, and whoa, holy shit, oh my, that's just too much. It's too crazy, it's too chaotic. An important thing to understand is by default, all these folders are going to be expanded. Now there's no way to change this in the preferences, and I'm hoping in a future update they will in fact change this. Something that you can do, which they added in Bitwig 2.0, is you can right click here and you actually can select what you want to see. This is very handy, this is great. Not all of these columns you can hide, but some of them you can, and so that does remedy some of the chaos a little bit. But when you open the browser, this is what you're going to see, and that's a little nuts. But you'll see there's tabs up here. You got your devices, your presets, your multi-samples, your samples, and your music. Now these tabs are all dynamic. What I mean by that is if you right click, you're going to see at the very bottom it says remember selected filters when adding new track. Now focus on that word adding new track, because that's what we're doing. We're adding a new track. I'm going to go ahead and close this real quick, and I'm going to hit the plus sign down here. Okay, see this plus sign here? I'm going to hit this plus sign, and then I'm going to right click here, and it says remember selected filters when adding audio effect. Okay, so now we're getting somewhere. Now what's important to understand about the browser is, like I say, it's dynamic. So you can have the pop-up browser open in a pretty specific way depending on where you're at as far as your project, as far as the UI, where you hit the plus sign at. And to prove that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just add a track. I'm going to, oh my god, I mean, look at this. This is just some freaking chaos right here. I'm just going to add a polysynth real quick, okay? Just real quick. And now remember, it says remember filter when adding new track. Remember that, okay? Go to the right of this, right click again, remember filter when adding insert audio effect. Okay, so that's different now. That's different now. How exciting is that? Now look at this. I'm going to hit the plus sign on the left before the instrument, and look, it's even more different. So now it's saying remember selected filters when adding note effect. So whoa, there's light bulbs going off in my head. Now why there's light bulbs going off in my head is that I'm realizing that Bitwig is smart. Bitwig understands what I'm going for. Now another important thing to understand is that you can hide these categories. You can hide the columns. You can't hide all of them, but you can hide some of them. Collections and device type, I recommend that. That's a very important one. Location and file type, get rid of that. You don't need that. You just don't need it. Category, that can be handy. Tags, I get rid of tags. I get rid of the tags. The tags in the category, same type of thing. So now when you open this, you're going to get your favorites list, or your smart collections, or your collections, all the way on the left. Now this device tab, there's no way to get this device tab to disappear. It's just stuck here. You're going to get your categories. So this is nice. Is it a pad? Is it a bass? Is it an arpeggiator? Is it a chirp? Is it an orchestra? What the hell's going on here? And so that can be the category. Creator is also handy. if you have certain creators that you're into. And we're going to actually talk about creators coming up pretty soon. Now, these columns, you cannot adjust the height of them. You cannot reorder them. Same with the folders. You can't like take these and reorder them or anything. That'd be nice if you could, and hopefully maybe in the future we'll see that change. But yeah, I mean, you can hide, you can hide your creator, you can hide your category, and then just have it be here. That's also a possibility, and then clear all filters. When you hit this plus symbol, get to a spot where you can find what you need. What do I want to do? I'm going to go to devices. I'm going to go to instruments. Okay. And I'm going to go to all devices. So this is pretty much going to be where I want to start. So every time I load a brand new track, I want it to show all my instruments. Basically, every instrument I own, I put into a collection called instruments. And so by highlighting instruments and then right-clicking, remember selected filters when adding new track, click on that, hit OK, and now every time I add a track, it's going to take me right to instrument. Very nice, very convenient. A lot less crazy than having all that shit out there. So we're also going to get rid of that. Okay, so that's basically where we're at. So by doing that, now every time we hit the clicks, we're going to be into the instruments folder. So basically by setting the default position, it's going to filter out all the shit you don't want to see. For example, when I add a new track, I'm more than likely going to put an instrument in there. So to have the instruments highlighted, and then of course to remove this location of file type, I don't need that. I don't need the location and file type. I just don't need that. So what I have here is I have my collection. I have my category. I'd like to go in and edit the category of some of these instruments, which I believe you can do. And then the creator, the Bitwig, Fab Filter. You want your isotope plugins. How about your waves plugins? There's all your waves plugins, your X for record plugins. And so that's pretty convenient, to be able to just see this. In other words, when you click on the plus symbol now, when you add a brand new track, click on the plus symbol, this is what's going to open. It's going to be filtered down to just the instruments with a category, a creator, all of them listed there. That's pretty handy. So now every single time I click the plus sign, I'm going to get that exact same menu. A lot less overwhelming, a lot easier to focus in on something. Let's go ahead and add an instrument here. Now when you click over here, which is before the instrument, you're going to get this pop-up. Now this pop-up is pretty much everything, but if you think about it, you're only going to want your note effects here. Okay, so let's go ahead and highlight the note effects. There's all your note effects. Then you want to right click, remember selected filters when inserting note effects. So now every time you hit that plus sign, you're only going to get your note effects. Again, much more to the point, much cleaner, much more fluent. You want to, when you're starting to work, you want fluidity. Fluidity is very important in my opinion. Okay, let's add a Cthulhu there. Let's go ahead and close that guy down. Now over here you have a plus sign after the instrument. Now this is going to open up all this stuff here. Now if you think about it, you're probably going to want audio effects here. So go ahead and click on audio effects. Now as far as the effects, which is going to be anytime you click a plus sign after the instrument, what I recommend is using a favorites list, which I'm still working on this favorites list right now. But put in all your favorite plugins in here. Now I just put a couple of my waves plugins in here, but I'm going to add quite a few more. Having it just default to my favorites is pretty handy. So now I can just right click, remember selected filters when inserting, audio effects. Now if I hit the plus after the instrument, it's just going to give me my favorites list for now. And again, I haven't finished my favorites list, and I might have another collection that I create based on the genre. What I'll probably do is create a collection for the genre. Like I'll have a that way I can just click, okay, if I want a compressor right now, okay, I'm gonna put an EQ up first. There's all my EQs there. Okay, I'm going to put some distortion in. I'm going to start out with a compressor. Here's all my compressors. So much easier to work with in that way. So let's go ahead and put an IPA in there. That's a beautiful plugin right there. Now the only other one that I can think of is your modulators. Now there's certain modulators which I'll probably use more than others, and so in that way I can have a favorites list for those. So let's say I take my LFO, my ADSR, my audio sidechain. Let's say for now I just put those into my favorites list. And now remember selected filters when adding a modulator. Okay, so I'm going to click on that. So now whenever we click on the modulator, it's just going to show us those 3. That's a little bit better than seeing like a million modulators. Now, I haven't created a favorites list yet for the modulators, but that's something that's kind of on my list of things to do. Create a favorites list, because basically what you can do is whenever you add something, like here, for example, a note effect right here. So Bitwig's smart. It knows that if I click in here and hit the plus, it knows that it's going to take me to the note effects. But as you remember, we went ahead and remembered selected filters when inserting note effects. So now it's going to take you right to the notes folder. So I highly recommend creating favorites lists and also lists based on instruments, note effects, modulators, whatever you want to do. So that way when you hit the plus symbol, it'll actually link you to that specific collection or that specific favorites list. So remember, when you click on that plus symbol anywhere in your project, do not be faced with this. This is the pop-up browser, but this is chaos. You want to whittle this down so it only shows you the things you want to use for that particular section of your track. You can round this down to just show audio effects, just presets, anything from a piano loop to an LFO modulator. You can set this up so it only shows specifically what you might be looking for that task. It's a combination of removing some of these columns. It's also a combination of remember selected filters when adding to, and then it's going to be all sorts of options here because it's a dynamic pop-up browser. Those 2 things, plus combining that with your collections, those 3 things when combined together can make this pop-up browser a little bit more manageable and make it so it doesn't, every time it pops up, it doesn't make you rip your hair out of your head and go, geez, I freaking hate Bitwig Studio. You want the pop-up browser to be your friend, but you need to know how to customize it. It is a dynamic browser, and being able to set it up just your way is really what you need to be able to find your stuff quickly. And it's very, very important to understand that. Chill Computer Guy, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, give a thumbs up, comment below, let me know what you think, what you'd like to see, and we'll see you guys again. Bye-bye now.